There's building boats, and then there's building with a film crew watching you. And our shop owner too. Hi, Dave. All right, we're day 3. We're here in the shop with my buddy Dave, and we are getting ready to do epoxy all the corners, all the edges here of the boat. So as you can see, we've been wiring the whole thing up. It's tight, ready to go. So now I just have to put in resin all along every seam here. And once I get that done, it's just wait. I got to put 24 hours again in, so I'll be back in here tomorrow a little after lunch to flip it over and start putting on fiberglass. And then that will sit all night. And then from there, we'll be putting in the thwarts or the seats. I've been learning a lot of things. Oh, and the skeg. I finally remember the name of the thing on the back here that's not a keel, it's called a skeg. And that keeps the boat straight. So that will go on as well. But we've got a lot of gluing left now. It's all gluing and a little bit of screwing here and there, and just figuring it out. So I've got a little heater on to keep my resins warm so that I can hopefully go a little smoother this time and not spend 18 minutes pumping fluid out, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I've got my epoxy in my kind of cake drip bag, as it were, and we're gonna just squish it along the seams and then squish it in with the sticks. So here we go. Super airtight, which is a little frustrating, but I think it's at a good enough angle we can pile the glue here. Yeah. By the time we get the fiberglass and everything on here, it'll be totally watertight and fine. You really have to have like a vision of the project in your head, because a lot of these steps together you think there's no way the boat is going to float.
I would agree completely, because I've having not thought about it much and having no experience, I've been sitting here and wondering what in the heck we're going to do on this step. You know?
That's you just sit back and go, I'm glad it's his boat, not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst way is to spend an afternoon in cake decorating your boat.
So at some point, do we come along here and take these?
Yep.
The metal things out?
Yeah, they'll come out after we do the fiberglass on the interior.
Okay.
Once I've got that part done, then it will be a little more rigid and I can take them out without the fear. Well, the boat doesn't look much different, I'm sure, but I assure you a lot has been done today. I came through early this morning, retightened up all the loose strings to kind of bring all the boards together nice and tight. Last night we didn't have time to do that, and I think I would have gone crazy if I had stayed any longer trying to tighten those up. Then I had to go get some wire because some of them broke, so I had to replace some of them, and there were some areas where it wasn't quite tight enough, so I had to stitch it up tighter. Once that was all done, it was learning the epoxy again, and I learned some interesting things. So the Chesapeake Lightcraft company, they give you a cool manual that has everything. They recommend getting zip top bags and using those like a pastry squeezer, which works great. However, doesn't work as well as an actual pastry squeezing bag, ones that get the pastry doughs or the cake frosting mix. And so I had my wife come and get some from a chef's store nearby, which made a huge difference. Having just a bag that was designed to squeeze semi-thick liquids out is perfect. So if you're doing this project, highly recommend get actual pastry bags. Works perfectly, much better than a zip top bag. But on the other side of it, it's been a busy day. It's been a good day. It's been a lot of hard work. I'm tired, my back hurts, and I am just praying that a lot of this sets up before too late tomorrow, because I gotta keep making progress. And tomorrow's job is to get wood fillet in to cover up the bow and the stern, and then to get the fiberglass laid down inside. Before that epoxy sets completely so that it can be, kind of glued in there. And that will be a big project tomorrow. And we'll clip all the wires and everything before we do that. So I'll get a late start tomorrow, unfortunately, but it's just, that's the nature of working in the cold and having to have the glue set and dry. So we're gonna work on that tomorrow. Well, I say we, it'd be me. Hopefully I'll have some people help me flip the boat over. I'll need some help doing that. I can't imagine if I'm gonna flip this on my own. But I had some fun today too. I had two old friends come by, visit, Dave and Joe. Dave's the one who owns the shop. He came in and lent me a hand for a few hours, helping me get the glue spread out evenly and get things going well and making it look good. And Joe, who lives nearby, came in and oohed and awed and gave me encouragement, which is great. When you're doing hard stuff, you cannot overestimate how helpful it is to have caring individuals around you to cheer you on or help you out or just give you a pat on the back when you need it. Because, yeah, it's tough work doing this kind of thing. And trying to do it in a shortened time frame like I'm doing is tough. Joe was fun, and I want to tell one story from Joe. So Joe is a long retired man, but always working. I mean, the man every day gets up and does stuff. He works for the Medford Food Bank around here, and volunteers, I should say, and he always keeps himself busy, and I love that about him. I mean, he's nearly 90, and he's just going and going. But he told a story about, in his younger days, he was a pilot, and he worked in the Air Force. During Vietnam, he was an officer that trained pilots as well. And one of the things that he was in charge of, the F-100 pilots that would train on those F-100s, they'd come through and had to learn how to use the cannons in the guns in the plane. And the way they would train them, you had a plane that would go up with a long banner, kind of like the advertising banners that you see on planes or know about with planes. But this one was a mesh banner that had big circle targets on it. And the jets that would come in had all their 20 millimeter bullets cased in a colored wax. So each plane had a different color wax. And this plane would go up with the target being trailed behind it, and they'd come in and shoot the target. And then you can tell who hit the target by the little circle that it would leave with the right color wax on it. That's an interesting bit of the story anyways, just how they trained the pilots. But what was really interesting to me was the fact that Joe was the one that had to fly this plane, pulling the targets behind it. And you're downrange of these massive jets coming in and shooting. And you have to, if you know anything about shooting a target that's moving, you have to lead the target. So you're shooting before the target comes into your reticle. If these guys had shot a little too early, they'd shoot down the plane, pulling the targets behind them. And just the sheer guts and audacity that it took to fly that plane that would tow the target. So, here's your plane coming with the targets, and your jet's coming from this direction, shooting at the targets on that. It's no different than someone standing downrange at a shooting range, holding up the target saying, okay, here it is, shoot, and trusting that the people down at the other end don't hit you. It's incredible how much bravery that takes. Thankfully, I think they don't train that way anymore, but pretty incredible. And Joe is an example to me of someone who is, incredibly resilient, incredibly brave, and full of grit, and just someone I look up to, and pretty fun to watch and listen to. He's a very interesting guy, and it was encouraging to just have him around talking about the boat. So the more I sit here and see drips happening, the more I think I'm going to keep puttering, and I needed to go home and rest. So I am going to call it a night, go get some dinner, take an evening, get my notes finished for work, and just take a break, because tomorrow's going to be another long day of serious work. So thanks for watching. Keep watching, like and subscribe to get more info on how this boat is being built, and the journey that we're going to take down the Mississippi in August of 2026.